and gentlemen, my name is BOYJOSH. I'm the CEO, BOYJOSH. Thank you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Saidu Idrisu. I'm a senior corporate administrator at Share Publishing South Africa. Share Publishing is a company that's based in South Africa and it operates within African continent and the rest of the world. Outside of African continent, Share Publishing is represented by a company called Downtown Music Services. That's the mother company of Share Publishing. So we operate worldwide, globally, as a music publishing company. Myself, as a senior corporate administrator, I've been with the company for over a decade, and my duty is always been servicing songwriters, composers, and authors. I make sure that everybody get paid, everybody is being compensated what they deserve in terms of their creation. Yes. So I am happy to be here, and thanks to the organizers Paruto, Street Fingers, and BOYJOSH for making this happening. It's good to be in Abuja. I'm loving Abuja, and I'm seeing Abuja to be home now. For me not to talk much, I will just go straight to the business of the day. So yes, we're going to talk about music publishing. We're going to unfold. We're going to, do a little bit presentation for everybody to understand how publishing works and how everybody can benefit from publishing. Yes. So Share Publishing, like I already said, we operate within African continent, and every country we have writers that we represent. For instance, in South Africa, we have likes of Caspar Nyovest, K.O., Mendoza, Cabello, Estra. Then in Kenya, we have Eric Wanana, Sauti Soul. Then Namibia, Mozambique, Ivory Coast, Ghana, we have like your Stone Boy down for you to see how publishers works among themselves, international platform. Then when you're talking about music publishing, this is where it actually started. We have something called a publisher versus a record label. That's where it started. So, and there is where it gives you a breakdown of services in terms of the copyright, right? So I think today, what we are talking, our main topic of today is going to be copyright. And that is where it started. Copyright, when you're talking about copyright in music, we have two different copyrights. And this copyright started immediately a song is recorded, mixed, and mastered. That's where the copyright started. So within the two copyright is the master rights. Then we have intellectual property right, which is the composition right. So in this case, everything started from the master right, which is you go to a studio, probably the producer already have a song, a skeleton song that is existing, or you go to a studio, then you kind of have a communication with the producer that I'm looking for something like, you give the producer an idea what you're looking at, then the producer will now sit down and play the beat for you, right? That's where the partnership started. So when you look at the master side, music actually started as a partnership, which has the producer, then the artist. That is from the master recording side. Down, once the producer finished recording the beats, then the artist also come in with a lyrics. Then these are the two things that you have to merge together, the lyrics and the melodies. Then once you now go in and record the lyrics into the melody, it becomes a complete song. But after recording, it doesn't give you the copyright until the final mix and mastering is done. So your copyright started immediately the mix and mastering session is done. That's where the copyright started. Now you see that it become a full project which has a master recording right, then definitely it's going to have a composition copyright, because the creation part, it will go back into the composition side. Then the investment in terms of who owns who pay for recording, who pay either under a label, the label invested money in the recording, I mean the sound recording, then probably the label will own either the master recording, which is the sound recording, or they own bigger share on the sound recording because of the investment that they put in the recording. So in this case, you will see that we have something called a session fee will have been paid to the producer, right? If the artist belongs to the label. Or sometimes you will find out that the artist is an independent, is not under a label. So in that case, you see that the artist will pay the session fee to the producer. Then that's where the independent artist will come in, because he paid or she paid for the session and he's probably owning the master right, which is a sound recording right. Then when you look at it in that chain, it will start with the artist, a producer, and the record label, which is the master side. That's how the chain is. Then the other side, which is the composition copyright, which usually we call intellectual property rights. That one, you see that it has the composer who happen to be the masters. Then we now have an author, the person who wrote the lyrics. Then we have a publisher. So looking at the master side, there's a label there. Then the composition side, which is the intellectual property right, is a publisher. So that's where the services comes in. It has a certain services that is going to render to the sound recording before people will get to know, oh, there is something, the song is coming out on this day and all that. So that's where the investment is coming from, because you have to protect it. Protect it as a product, meaning you have to invest money on it. If you put it in the shelves or you put it in your wardrobe without taking the song out, who's going to know about it? Nobody's going to know about it. And how are you going to make back the money that you invested in the recording? There's no way you can make the money back. So in this case, that's where distribution come in. So now you have to look for a DSP or a distributing company who is going to put the song out there to the distribution platforms such as your Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Boomplay, Audiomack, and there are many. It depends who is distributing your work and their capacity, right? So in this case, once the work is out there, right, now you all looking for avenue that to make back the money that you've put in, right? Okay. So within the masters, the person who invested, like I said, will probably have access to the income of the sales, right? The same sales, which is the streaming or the download, there is certain percentages set aside for the intellectual property, which is the composition copyright. There's certain percentage set aside for that. Because when you look at the master right side, majority or the ownership of the master sound recording, it belongs to the record label, right? So you, the creator, how are you going to make money? How are you going to benefit from that creation that you put up together, right? So that's where intellectual property right, which is publishing right, comes in. So whatever money that you're making from the master right, there's certain percentage will set aside for the composition right. Then everybody who created or who is part of the creation will have to benefit something from that, which is more like a compensation. And in terms of publishing, That's how they break it down. We have a composer who happens to be the person who created the melody. It tells you that in publishing we don't have a producer. Then, the same publishing, the author who wrote the lyrics would have been the artist in the master recording. But because anybody can write a song for you as an artist to record it, so in that case, that area we don't have an artist. We have an author. So whoever wrote in a song or write something is an author of the song. There's no artist there. Then the same services that the label have to make sure that it is doing so that the song will go out there and it will start generating income. Publisher also has services by making sure that whatever cent that is being used or whatever exploitation that has been done in the song, the publisher will make sure that you go out there and collect each and every money that is made from the composition. So that's where the publisher comes in there. So the publisher is more like is an administrator to the composition right, the crates that you people put together, the intellectual property that you put together. The publisher will be somebody who is going to drive the registration to various collecting societies or production houses so that the music will get used in terms of exploitation. And the more the music gets used, that's where it brings money, right? So in terms of this publishing services, we have different kind of royalties that is going to accumulate. There we have like your mechanical royalties, we have performance royalties, synchronization royalties, and print. So these are the 4 major royalties that you should be expecting from your publishing right. So I started with the mechanical royalties. Mechanical royalties will come from reproduction of the same song that you did. So whenever that somebody, like for instance, you go to Spotify, you stream the song. So immediate that process of streaming, it's creating reproduction there because you are copying the song from one point to another. So that process of copying, there's royalty that's supposed to come, which called mechanical royalties, that the publisher have to make sure that he collects, then you get paid. So anytime that your music is streamed on Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Boomplay, and AudioMark, there's supposed to be royalties. Or if it's a TikTok or Facebook, Instagram, they all pay those mechanical royalties to the publisher, then the publisher pays you, right? Then performance royalties will come from your radio airplay. When they use your music on radio, TV, it generates performance royalties. So performance royalties, not as in royalties that, not as in performance as in gig. That one has nothing to do with the publishing performance royalties. The gigging is coming from the master rights. So remember that the label will have a deal with an artist for performance and a management deal. So all those ones comes from that side. So when you get a gig, it falls within that side. Whatever money that comes within the gig is going to, it goes to the label and the management. But the performance in the copyright, composition right, it actually comes from the usage of the physical song that is recorded, mixed, and mastered. So wherever the music gets used, it generates that royalty, which also goes with collecting societies. So like we have a PRO, performance right organizations, they handle performance royalties. So in this case, every songwriter, composer, and author have to belong to a PRO, like a performance right organization company, for your performance royalties, right? Then the synchronization will come from the exploitation from the publisher or a usage from the production house. So for instance, you'll find out that a TV station will want to do an advert, or a radio station want to do an advert, which they usually call jingle, or a company, a normal company, MTN, or these telecos want to use your song to market their product, which is an advert. So in that area, the publisher need to license the song to the person before they could use it, because the publisher has that right to do the licensing, right? So in this case, there's supposed to be a communication between the owner of the song, which is the label, the shareholders in the composition rights, and the publisher. It becomes a collective thing for everybody who is involved in the chain to have a communication to a level of agreeing to certain amount of money that is going to be paid for the deal. And in this case, whatever amount that is paid is divided into two. Publishing got 50% there, the master right also got 50% there. So within the master right, whatever shares that you have in the masters, then you have to get your split from the masters. Composition right, whatever shares that you have in there, that's where you have to get your share in there in terms of the licensing, which is a synchronization deal. So in that case, anytime that the song gets a deal, such as film, advert, documentary, it brings income. And that income have to be handled by the publisher. So if you don't have a publisher, these are the areas that you'll be losing out. First of all, the administration, your works have to be out there. Your works have to be registered worldwide, globally. So wherever that the song gets used, people will rectify, or when they collect your money, they know where they're sending the money to, they know who you belongs to. Then they will get the money across, then you get paid. In a situation whereby this registration system is not in place with your works, you're definitely not going to get those monies. And publishing, in a way, is a lifetime kind of investment that you put in creating. Because even when you leave, like you pass on, the work still live. You'll find out that sometimes somebody will even pass on before his songs even blow up. Now, all these things will add up to your beneficiaries. So you pass on, the music still lives, they still use it, it still makes money. Those monies have to go back to your beneficiaries. So if you don't do the right thing, how your beneficiaries are going to be getting those income? They're not going to get that income. And trust me, this kind of income stay with certain societies, and it has a period. Once those periods reach, and you've never processed of claiming, that money is no more yours, it's gone. You see, so this is where most of our African writers, we are losing, because we don't understand the system. We're thinking that, oh, the money is sitting there, anytime you want, you go and get it. No, it's not like that. Once it's registered and they have the registration history, then that's where it will stay. But when there's no registration history, they collect the money, they don't know who the money belongs to. Then that money, they process it differently. And once it reach the time, then it's no more your money. So those are the things that we have to be aware of. Once you don't register your works and it's more than 5 years, don't expect that you will get whatever that is due after the 5 years. Now it's even 3 years. Yeah. Then I've already touched a bit about the type of royalties, which are mechanical royalties, performance, synchronization, and print. So these are the royalties that you should be expecting from your publishing right, which is the composition royalties. I've already touched a bit about how mechanical royalties is being distributed. Even now, before, it used to be about 6 to 7% from the overall income from the sales. But now, because of digital, it goes up to 9% mechanicals. So once you have a streaming, these are the kind of percentages that you're looking at in terms of the mechanical royalties. And music business right now is about numbers game. So the more you have more streams, the more you make money. That's how it is now. So in terms of mechanical royalties as well, sometimes you find out that certain societies will go in for blanket licenses for certain broadcasters. So like let's say mostly community radio station will be striking a deal with a society, paying a certain amount of money for the usage of the songs for the whole year. You see, so this amount of money, once they negotiate and they came to that point, okay, you pay this amount of money. The money have to be splitted according to how the music they use in the radio station. So that brings back to what we call cue sheets, the history of the usage of the song on the radio station. So that's how the society will be able to identify which songs they use, and they pay everybody accordingly. Then public performance. Public performance, you will get a royalty from a PRO, like I've already mentioned. It's a public performance right organization you have to be a member with. And once you're a member with and your music gets used anywhere worldwide, the public performance royalties will go to the society, then you get paid through your collection society. And one important thing about this PRO membership also is that once you apply to become a member, there is a number called IPI number that is supposed to generate for you. So this IPI number actually link with you is more like your identification in the music copyrights, whereby it link with your personal information to the song that you created. Each and any time that you create a song, there's something called ISRC code, link with the song, your IPI number link with you as a creator of the song. Then we have these PROs, they will also have a number called ISWC code. So these three numbers, they link together, and it makes it easy to trace your income or the usage of the work that you created. Then we have your synchronization, which is something that I've already touched a bit. So in terms of this synchronization, opportunities to get into this synchronization platform is through cinema, television, corporate video, internet website, games, and advertising. And these are where the money is now. These areas, a lot of people are consuming a lot of music in this territory that I just mentioned. Cinema, television, corporate video, internet website, games, and advertising. And these areas are areas that you can make money easily without people even knowing what you're doing. Once you have a decent work, which is quality work, you can have it on library or it can be a commercial song. Both can give you money. Once the work is out there and production houses want to use it because they are the ones that do the production. So definitely it will be used, and before it's used, you get paid and all those things. So you can actually live on these things forever. And you see, sometimes as a new, when you're looking at this royalty stream, like we mentioned of mechanicals, performance, and synchronization, that's the three key areas that you should be making money from your works if the works are active. And if you are starting like a new writer, you started writing not long ago, you have songs, but they are not hit songs. People don't know it much like that. You will think that mechanical royalties is the way to make money in music copyright, because that is where you're making your money from, through digital platforms and social media, right? Which are a little money. You're not going to make more money from radio and TV because your works are not too active in a way that a radio station would playlist it, right? And radio station actually pay more than the streaming platforms, in a sense that in an established area, when your music is used on radio, let's say they use a radio edit, which is probably 3 minutes, right? They pay you per second. That's how the usage is. You get paid per second. So when you multiply 3 minutes by the number of seconds, you're going to get 180 seconds, right? Because every 1 minute is 60 seconds times 3, that's 180 seconds. So if a radio station is paying, let's say, 10 kobo, right, per second, multiplied by 180 seconds. Yes. So you see, if they play your song in one set of a radio station, that's the amount of money they're supposed to pay you. You multiply that 10 kobo by 180 seconds, then you get the total amount. That's the money that is due for you whenever they play it on radio. Now, it depends how many radio stations play your music in a day. Even in an hour, you see, in a week, in a month, in a year. So once you have a hit song, you make a lot of money from radio only. But because you don't have a hit song now, or you are starting up, radio stations don't play your music a lot, you end up don't earn much money on radio. You make more money from the mechanical on streaming and social media platforms, right? Then, in terms of synchronization, you don't make money at all, because most of production houses will want to use a song that is relevant as well as known. And your song is not known yet. So chances of the song getting into sync is very slim, right? Now, when you become established, we're talking about new writer. Now you move to established writer. This established writer that you move into, your income also grow. You will see that radio station will start playing your music now. It's not going to be on a high rotation, but they will play it, right? You start getting a little bit jingles from the synchronization part, because radio station now started playing your music. People are getting to know it. So you start getting a little bit jingles. Then the income of performance royalties will grow, because now you're getting airplay. Synchronization will grow because you are now getting jingles. Then the mechanical will still shoot up, but it's now going to be in line with your performance, because performance income is bigger than the mechanical income. You see, so you see that your music is used more on social media and digital platforms, but the radio airplay will still shoot in the same level with your mechanicals, because the income from the performance is bigger than the mechanicals. Then, when you become a hit songwriter, I am going to set an example of maybe Two-Face. Two-Face got hit song, right? Correct. So from where Two-Face is coming from the beginning to where he is today, Two-Face doesn't really care whether you play his music on radio or not. That's right. Where his main focus right now is to strike a deal with MTN or Glo or Telecom, you know, the big companies. And those deals are coming huge packages. So you can go do your shows, and one of his deal will cover all the shows that you had in a year. And people don't even know that he collected that money. So that's how that's how mechanical, the synchronization income will push you. You said you make 1-2 deals in a year, you are done. The radio still come, the mechanical you still make that money, but your main target become synchronization. Sometimes you even find out that These same production houses will come to you to write something for them. So by you writing, you charge them, they pay you, then you make your money without performing. But you make big money from the synchronization. So once you become established, your main focus where you think you can make money now is on synchronization. Then, in terms of this synchronization that we're talking about, it has major terms. For instance, when a company wants to license your song for sync deal, those major terms should be the media, and the media is going to cover the cinema, the television, internet, and public spaces. That's where it's going to be used, right? Then, you also have to question a territory, meaning where is it going to be used? So all these things will give you opportunity to make more money. So the more if you're going to use it only on cinema, the fee is going to be lesser. But if you're going to use it on cinema and internet spaces, definitely I'm going to charge you for the internet spaces again. If you add up public spaces, I'm going to charge for that. If you add TV, I'm going to charge you more. So the more you use it, the more you pay. Now, we go into territory now. In terms of territory, it's going to depend where you're using it. If you're using it only in Nigeria, the fee is going to be different from you are using it within African continent. Then if you're using it for worldwide, the fee is going to be more than using it in African continent. And if you're going to use it lifetime, then the money also goes lifetime charges. You see, then you now come to the term. So the term is going to be the duration, the length that you're going to use it. Some will license for 1 year, some will license for 1 month, years, and some will license it forever. So the more, if it's month, it's lesser. If it's years, it goes up. If it's forever, you charge more because they're going to use it forever. Yeah. So even if a company approach you, they want to use your song, these are the terms you need to consider and make sure that you've been looking after properly as the owner of the content. Sometimes you will see that, hey, you are happy that this company wants to use your song, but they actually licensing the song forever. You don't even know. You're just happy because they want to use your song on Netflix. You don't care. No, it's wrong. You always need to get a publisher to do the licensing on your behalf. All this will be covered properly, and you'll be happy and you'll still benefit from it forever. Then all this time we're talking about, we have publishing agreements. Because without an agreement, there's no deal. The deal is actually the main agreement. And in terms of publishing, we have different kind of agreements. So as a songwriter can be a producer, not only the person who writes the songs. The songwriter can be, that's the general word, songwriter. Then under songwriter, you now have the composer, the author. Yeah, but in a nutshell, everybody in there is a songwriter who creates. Then, in terms of the agreements, we have a deed of assignment. So deed of assignment will go to like a specific songs. For instance, Josh has an album or EP, but he wants us to work on is one particular song. So the deed of assignment is going to cover only that song. So when we sign a deal, that song is what we are signing, right? So if the song makes money, that's where we all make money. But the ones that is not part of the deed of assignment, even if it makes money, is none of my business because it's not part of our deal. So deed of assignment goes with specific songs. Yes. Then we have an exclusive writer agreement. The exclusive writer agreement goes with you as a songwriter. Either you are a composer or author. So once you sign an exclusive writer agreement, That agreement is going to cover your your past works, current works, and future works within the term. So if the term is 5 years, 3 years, any work that you do within that 3 or 5 years period is part of the agreement. So what you need to do is whenever that you finish recording, mix and master, you have to come up with a split sheet, send it to your publisher, then the publisher will make sure that the work is registered and the writing is done by the publisher and to make sure that they collect. Past works, future works, and current works. Exclusive writer agreement cover that. Then we have co-publishing. Co-publishing is similar to exclusive writer agreement, but you will find out that there is a company involved beside the publisher. So this kind of agreement is designed, like from our end, is designed to ease the services. To ease the services in terms like Africa, the way Africa works. Africa doesn't really, we have challenges in terms of our CMOs or the PROs. So you definitely need a company that is going to be doing a follow-ups, a company that is going to be doing undocumented works, a company that is always going to make sure that he get works within the CMO or PRO system that is not registered properly or that has disputes, so that they could fix it, the company will fix it, then they could pay the people that are in there. Then also the company also has its own services in terms of making sure that communication is done, the right information is given, then it will go to the main publisher, or sometimes you will find out that the company is working in hand with the main publisher to make sure the work is out there. So those are the things. But other than that, it also covers the past works, current works, and future works within the term. Then we have a business to business, which fall within administration or sub-publishing. These are the two deals that we have. So the administration would be a basic administration deal between a company and the publishing company. So that the services of the company is to make sure that he sign writers under the company and provide the information to the main publisher to do the administration on the company's behalf. Same applies to sub-publishing. But the difference between admin and the sub-publishing is that admin also gives the main publisher rights within the works. Sub-publishing, you become the original publisher, then the sub-publisher is the person that you sub-publish those works to. So whatever that is happening within that territory, you, the original publisher, have to give the go-ahead before the main publisher will do whatever that needs with that. That's the difference. But with the admin, the publishing company also have say in the works. Kind of. Then we come to the split sheet that we mentioned. Split sheet is, we don't really regard it, but it play a lot of major role when we're talking about composition rights. Even the masters. The split sheet is simply the agreement that you people put up together when you finish a product. So in terms of master right, there's a record deal whereby the deal will kind of give a breakdown of percentages, what is due for each and every one. Same as the composition side. The composition right will give you, it will give you indication of the authors and the composers that are involved in the song. And every part will end up to 100%, but you putting them together, it will end up to 100%, so each side is 50-50, depending on how many people are involved. Sometimes you see there's a co-producer in a song or co-author of the song. You see more than one people write one song. So in that case, there are co-authors in that song. So everybody have to benefit based on your input in the song. Then, in terms of the split sheet, what you would just need is the title of the song, the artists that are involved in the song, the date the song was recorded. Then we have the composer/author. There, remember, we mentioned that we don't have artists or producers in the composition. We have composers and authors. So in that case, your real names comes in there as a composer or author, not your stage name. The stage name will always come in when the song is where the artist is. That's where your artist name have to come. But as a writer, it's supposed to be your names in your identification, like your ID or in your passport, the real names. Then the song have to be linked with that real name, because like your name is J. Josh, anybody can be J. Josh.
That's right.
Yeah, but your real names is your real name, which link to you.
Joshua
Exactly. Yeah. So then you now indicate your share in the song. So for instance, me and you will work on a song. I produce, you wrote the lyrics. Standard is 50-50 split. So you get your 50% as the author of the song. I get my 50% as the composer of the song. That's it. So in the split sheet, as an author, you get your 50%. You indicate who is your publisher. Then the role you play. So you being the author of the song, you have to write author there, so that they will see, okay, this is the role that you play in the creation. Then you indicate who owns the masters. If it's an independent artist or if it's under a label, you have to indicate then your signature. Then the other column will be the other writer column. Your real names, your percentage, the name of your publisher, your role as a composer you put there, then master owner there you put, then your signature. So once this is done, given to the publisher, then based on the information, the publisher will register the work, and whenever there's a deal coming, the deal is going to be split according to what you people agreed on. Simple as that. But if this split sheet is not in place, then it means that the song doesn't have an ownership. So that's a challenge that we're also facing in Africa. You see, there's so many songs without split sheet. And if there's no split sheet, as I already said, you can't even license the song because you don't know the owners. You will license the song tomorrow, another person will come from somewhere else and say, who give you go ahead to license this? I am a writer of the song. Where is the money? You'll be sued. And at the end of the day, you pay money that you were not supposed to pay to the person. So there's always supposed to be a split sheet in place when a work is done. So like you have a studio, you have to have a copy of the split sheet in the studio. Wherever that you guys finish working, based on your input, you credit each other, sign, then everybody go his ways. Get your copy and go. This one, keep the copy in the studio. Tomorrow, when the song blow up, you will remember that, no, we had an agreement for that. But if the phone didn't blow up, you will never remember that there was a song like that. That's how it is. This thing happens when the song started getting million views upwards. Everybody attention comes to the song because they see that there's numbers there, and those numbers are money. But once there's no numbers, they don't even think of it. So it's very, very important, and you may never know which song is going to blow up tomorrow. So it's very, very important that you make sure that split sheet is done properly. Everybody agree to the shares that they have in the song. Then we also have a responsibilities of a publisher. So now when you sign a publishing deal, right, not just signing, the publisher have to play his role before you can start seeing this money. Yes, so that is the responsibilities of the publisher. So in this case, the first thing that the publisher would need from you is an existing works. You have to have works that is recorded, mixed and mastered. If you don't have work that is recorded, mixed and mastered, you can't sign a publishing deal. Because what is it going to be registering? What is it going to be collecting? There's nothing to register, there's nothing to collect. So there's supposed to be an existing work. Then that existing work will now follow with the administration. followed by the exploitation and finding opportunity. Or the publisher also will be pitching the song to relevant production houses for them to use it. That's the responsibility of the publisher. Then relationship building. The publisher have to make sure that they create a relationship between you and other writers to work together. For instance, you want to work with somebody who is bigger than you so that the song could blow up based on who the person is. So in terms of collaborations, that's where the publisher also can also plug that for you. Then we have something called cut. The publisher can also strike that deal whereby a bigger artist will use portion of your work, then add it to his work. You are credited in as a writer. You make money from the new work. Then we have a music supervision that the publisher have to do. Then licensing, which is something that I've been mentioning. Collection of residuals and new works. So these new works will fall within co-write that I mentioned, that doing collaboration with the other writers, creating opportunity and pitching the songs for opportunities. Yeah, I think that's that. So at this point, I don't think I've spoken a lot. It's better we leave it here so that we can do questions. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Sedi, thank you so very much for being so explicit.
Thank you.
You actually dissected the art of music publishing. Okay, I have a couple of questions here. You know, as a sub-publisher myself, I've encountered, some Nigerians, and their perception towards music publishing. So the first question I have here is one that is prevalent everywhere you go. Please, tell me, what is the difference between you being a music publisher and a music promoter? Because when I encounter these artists and I talk to them about signing them, as a sub-publisher, the impression they get is that I am giving them a record deal. So please, can you just help us elaborate a little bit on that? Because as I speak with you, I have one or two disputes, with some artists, that had a wrong conceived notion about the deal we were signing.
Okay, so your question is a very good question, but it's actually where I started. You see, when you're talking about the two copyrights, that is the answer of your question. You see, when you're looking at the structure of the master rights and the structure of the composition rights, the master rights is strictly for a label services. So when you're talking about promoter, promotion, PR, booking agency, management, they all fall within the master rights as an artist. A publisher doesn't work with an artist. A publisher works with a writer, a creator. So Street Fingers can be an artist. Josh writes the song for Street Finger. In this case, it's Josh who get the publishing right, not Street Finger. So in your case, it's a simple answer to them. I am not signing you as an artist. I am signing you as a writer. So I am handling your composition rights, not your master right. Your master right will handle with the record label. The record label owns the master rights. So if it's a record deal we go in, then yes, I have to do promotion. That is my responsibility. But in terms of me signing you as a songwriter, my responsibility falls within the publisher is responsibilities that I mentioned, where the publisher have to do the licensing, the publisher have to do the registration of your works to collective societies, the publisher have to collect the mechanical royalties, the publisher have to collect the performance royalties, the publisher have to license your song to production houses, companies for sync deals. Create opportunities, pitching your songs for opportunities. We call it exploitation in terms of publishing. It's not about taking the music to radio or no. That one fall within the master right. And who owns the masters do that kind of services. You as your publisher, that is not your service.
Thank you very much. I have another question here from an artist, and he was asking that why does he have to go to the studio, right? Work with a producer, pay the producer his production fee, and the producer still has some rights in his music. That what he knows or what he's used to is that he goes to the studio, pay the producer his production fee, the producer does his work and he collects his music. Please, can you enlighten us more?
Okay. So you see, it also fall in within the same area. Remember when I was starting there, I said this is the key area. So you see, when you go to a studio, remember the person played the beat for you. You didn't play the beat.
That's right.
That is the creation. The creation on its own is an intellectual property for that person. It's not your property. Right. Now, after the creation, why you pay the person money? Because he creates. But that payment actually gives you right to own the master right, not his intellectual property right. The intellectual property right is a separate thing from the master right, which is the composition right. So before you own somebody's intellectual property right or the composition right, it's a separate agreement on its own.
Oh, right.
The money that you pay for the session, that money is called session fee. You pay for that to own the masters.
So excuse me, it's called a session fee, not producer's fee.
It's the same, but that's the key word for a session. You pay for the session of the creation. That's what you pay, the time
So you are not
and the
actually-
studio.
You are not actually paying for the intellectual property.
Never.
Awesome. See, that's where the mix-up is.
It's two copyrights. That's why they make it two. Master right, composition right. If it was one, it wouldn't be two. It was going to be one. So in this case, before you own somebody's intellectual property, which is the composition right, there's supposed to be an agreement in place for that.
Okay.
So once you pay the person and there's no agreement, then there's supposed to be a split sheet within the composition right. And that split sheet,
owns that composition.
correct. Anytime they use a song, either movie, documentary, right? The song, the producer or the composer have rights in it. When you look at your Grammy awards and all those things, when an artist win an award for Grammy, it's not only the artist, whoever that is involved in the work, they also get some of the
The credit.
yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. So in terms of this credit thing, I understand it's a big problem that a lot of people are encountering when but that's the simple way of it. Until you own somebody's intellectual property right, there's supposed to be a separate agreement on that because it's a separate thing. The money that you pay to the producer is a session fee to own the masters. If you didn't pay that money, then it means that the producer also have the right to go to studio, to go and distribute a song on his own. That's the level it is. So that's where a record label is involved to pay for the session so that the label will own the masters or own major share in the masters. But the composition rights is more like a pension for whoever created. So I wouldn't advise people to sell their composition right, because once you sell your composition right, it's more like you are selling your pension to somebody else. That's it. So paying a session fee doesn't mean you own the person's intellectual property right. You only own the master right.
Thank you very much. I have another very interesting question here. It says, these days, online music publishing companies abound. In fact, there are lots of them that promise a whole lot of bogus services. What is the difference between I myself, and the so many online music publishing platforms that we have?
Okay, so you see, online publishing, I can't say they're not publishers, but you're actually renting the platform. You are the publisher. Yes. Because you have to go and do the publishing services there, which is uploading the work there. They are not the one uploading it. You have to go and upload the work. And once they upload it, because they affiliate with the society, automatically, the work that you uploaded will link with the society. So they are actually renting you the platform, not the service. You doing the service yourself. So whenever you record a song, mix, mastered, you get your split sheet, you have to go in and do the job. It's unlike our own. We have to go in and make sure that the work is registered. Then another different thing is the online publishers, they don't do your licensing for you. They don't pitch your songs. They don't do those services for you. But we, the kind of publishing we do, all is inclusive. We have to make sure your works are pitched. We do exploitation. We license the song. Whoever wants to use the song, we have to license the song for them. In fact, some of these online stuff, they will even give those rights to the collective society to even license the song instead of them doing it. So you see the difference. So you doing online publishing is different from what we are doing. And our own publishing also have a little bit value in terms of you have a client liaison. You have somebody you communicate with.
That's right.
If you have an issue or a query, you have somebody to talk to. You're not talking to a computer.
That's right.
So those are the things.
Okay. My questions are going to come back.
No.
But not yet. I have this very interesting question, about a gospel artist that was having challenges signing up with a publishing company because he does not want to have problems with radio stations. Is there any such, or could there be such a problem as an artist, you signing with a publishing company and having a clash with a radio station? Like, I don't really understand. Can you shed some more light?
A clash like how?
Maybe interest clash from royalty collection or from being blocked, because they are being played by the station, and
blocked by the publisher or the radio station?
By the radio station.
Okay, so is a wrong thing. I think with this thing that you're talking about, I heard a bit about it. Some artists don't want to be a member of certain society simply because the societies go and collect money from radio stations. That is the job of a collection society. The collection society has a mandate from the government of the country to collect your income on your behalf and pay you. It's not your responsibility as an artist to go to radio station and collect royalties. It's not.
Okay, excuse me. Sorry, he wasn't talking about him collecting royalties. He was scared that radio stations would blacklist him because they would a collecting society or his publishers, or I mean, how he put it, I can't understand now.
I understand it. The thing is, he have like he's scared when the society goes to the radio station and they give them the list of artists that are their members with the society. His or her name is going to be part of the list, and the society, the radio station will say, okay, we no more playing this person's songs because we have to pay. You see, we have to understand this thing. You can't use somebody's music. First of all, we're talking about session fee here. The session fee is money. You understand? We're talking about promotion. We're talking about marketing. We're talking about administration. All this is money. How do you expect the person to get back the money they invested in the recording if you don't pay royalties? You see, so that's how every country, they have this copyright act that represents a creative industry in a different aspect, because music is an investment. It's a big time investment, whereby when you have proper structures in every country, music is supposed to be generating huge amount of money. Nigerian market is huge. If there's a proper structures here, the monies that Nigerian music is supposed to be generating even in a month is huge amount of money. If you follow my interview that they uploaded a few days ago from Gambia, I was there a few weeks ago. The corporate organization mentioned that because their structures are not, is not in a proper structure, they lose over $30 million a month. You see, but if the industry is structured properly, people would not use the music for free. Before you use somebody's music, you have to pay for it. Nobody's supposed to even tell you, because as a radio station, without the music, there's no station. So indirectly, it tells you that you use the music to do your business. So you have to pay for the person who owns the music. That's it.
So in a nutshell, there is no clash between you having your publishing deal in place and you being, playlisted.
You see, these two radio station college society, they're supposed to work together. You see, when I was doing a presentation, I made mention of blanket license. This blanket license is some of the deals that college societies strike with radio stations. Depending on the level of your station, they give you a structure, certain amount of money. You pay for the whole year. So that amount of money will cover whoever music that you use. What they just need from you is a cue sheet, so they will see who is used. Then they could pay the money according to the usage. But you cannot use somebody's music for free. That is something, that one is wrong. You can't do that. So there's not even supposed to be a communication between an artist and a radio station regarding the royalties. No. You use Beyonce's song. Are you going to talk to Beyonce before you use the song? You're not going to do that. You use Jay-Z. You're not going to talk to Jay-Z. You use it. So you have to pay according to the regulation of your society. You have to pay.
Thank you very much, sir, for that clarity. So tell me quickly, does Nigeria have a collecting society? What are they called? Where are they situated? How can one, be registered in such a society?
It's a little bit complicated for me to be talking about this, but Nigeria used to have COSIN, and from what I'm hearing, COSIN lose the license. Remember, I talk about the government have to regulate. So the regulation goes with the license, with Copyright Commission. They give you as a collecting society to represent the right owners in the country. So as at now, it's like that license of COSIN is being revoked and is given to MCSN. Yes. So from what I know, MCSN is the one that is operating now as a collecting society, whereby if you want to be a member with, for you to get your royalties, you have to join MCSN. But it doesn't mean that because you are a Nigerian, you only have the right to join MCSN. No, you can choose to join any society of your choice. You can even join a society in America called BMI or ASCAP or CISAC. You can decide to join PRS, SASEM, GEMA, or SAMRO in South Africa. It's up to you. Because these societies, they have something called reciprocal agreement that they work together with. You represent my right, I represent your right. So MCSN would have had that agreement with SAMRO in South Africa. So whoever is a member of MCSN and his music is being used in South Africa, the money will be collected by SAMRO and sent it to MCSN. So the same thing happens to MCSN collecting SAMRO's clients' money in Nigeria and send it to South Africa. That's how it works. So if you are a Nigerian based in Nigeria, you can join membership with SAMRO. Your money will be collected by MCSN, sent to South Africa. SAMRO will pay you direct. That's how it's supposed to be.
That's very clear. Okay, so I have another one here before we knock off. You know, the average artist sees the publisher as a go-between. I mean, go-between himself and probably like a deal. Sometimes, like I know of a story where the artist was like, if I use the publisher, he's going to short my money, you know? So he would rather go directly himself and negotiate, that deal, like a sync deal, and so that he can collect the maximum cash. Can you advise on, such an act?
It's never a good thing to do as an individual, because whatever that is happening, you need someone to represent you. This is more like a legal kind of deal where you need to have a legal practitioner involved. And in that case, your legal practitioner is your publisher. I made mention of major terms, right?
That's right.
Because it's my area. And the person who used the song knows that those areas, it works. But because it's not your area, you are just an artist. When you go there, you're not talking about the major terms. You're talking about the figures. So the person said, I'm giving you $10,000. Meanwhile, the usage valued $100,000. So you think that you are cutting out the publisher, but you are actually losing. Because when the publisher is involved, you are going to get $100,000, or that $100,000 you're going to get it times 2. Because 50% goes per side. So $100,000 for the masters, $100,000 for the composition. Then now, based on your share within the masters, based on your share within the composition, you get your share there. But remember, you can also go direct and strike the deal without crediting the other people that are involved in the song. They will sue you. Because that song doesn't belong to you alone. There are other co-writers. So you can't go there and license the song or sign the deal alone and collect the money and put it in your pocket. No, you can't do that. If I am sitting here, I did a song with you, all of a sudden you come, you give me 50,000 naira that, hey bro, there's a deal in the song, or this is your cut. I want to know how much is the deal and how I'm getting this. You see? So you see, publishing will make it easy for you. There's going to be a communication within all the parties. Declared whatever that deal is there and what is involved. Are you happy with it? Fine. This one, fine. The deal is done. Everybody get paid. Peace of mind.
Thank you very much, sir. Our last question. What do you think is the most important aspect of music publishing to an artist?
So you see, it has startup point, And that is where the main challenge is. The first thing is to sign the deal. Second thing is to do the documentation with the membership application as well. That is a startup point, and it's a very difficult point because these things need to be done, and because you don't have an idea, it becomes very difficult. And that one leads to even me traveling different countries like this, because sometimes you want to do this thing with somebody online service, it becomes very difficult to make sure you get it right. So back and forth and all those things, just to get the paperwork done properly. And once the paperwork is done properly, going forward, you don't need to do it again. You only need to submit split sheets and the MP3 version of the song. And remember, publishing is about details. So yes, without the details, you cannot register a song. If you did a song and you didn't give me proper details, I might register a song, but it's a wrong registration. I am creating what we call disputes. And that is what we are trying to avoid. Because the more a work has disputes, you're not going to get paid. In collective society systems, we have something we call suspense account. Any work that has dispute goes into the suspense account until you guys resolve your dispute. And you may never even know that the song is on suspense account. There's a dispute, you will never know. Only the publishers will know. So the most important thing from the beginning, you do the right thing, then everybody's happy going forward. There's no shortcut in publishing. You have to do the right thing, then everybody's happy.
Thank you very much, sir. It's been really an expository time, spent with you. I have learned some more, and I hope our viewers get to learn a lot from what we've discussed. If you have any more questions, you can just post, as you wish and as you can. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And you can reach out to me if you have any questions. You can reach out to me on WhatsApp or my email. My number is +27 78 054 1943. That's my WhatsApp number. You can reach me anytime. +27 78 054 1943. My email is seidu@share. Seidu is SEIDU at share SHEER.co.za. You can reach out to me anytime, then I can answer your questions. I can take you through the publishing process, then you'll be happy. Thank you.
Awesome. You can also reach me at 081 70689 128. 081 689 128. Or at BOYJOSH_G.C on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you and have a lovely evening. Ciao.
We're done.
So it's wonderful. That was nice.
Yeah. We kill it.
It's very fingers.
Treasure, I think today you've captured everything today. But why you didn't ask questions?